Hello and welcome to this YourPMO 2019 video. This is on reporting. In the earlier sessions we looked at how we collect data for plans and resources and risks and issues and benefits and finances and all sorts of other data from within files in our project. Here we're going to have a little look at how we update some properties and how we can feed all that information then through into standard reports and share them with our colleagues. So what we're going to have a look at here is firstly in this reporting area, and this can all be set up in my diagram, and it is on many of the standard methods. And we've of course been already thinking about updating all the content within the files themselves, which we could have done from here, but we're going to do update info, and this is going to give us access to the core project properties, which we can type in details for who the customer is and business area and descriptions and commentaries and all that sort of stuff. So we might update our commentary with new info like that, and that'll be saved in now to the properties and available to feed my reporting. So let's come back to my diagram, and we have a large library of standard report specifications, as we call them, off the shelf that you can use, a 61 in fact, and so we can either choose them from here, or this one will always run the same report, which is a project statement report to print. So if I just click that, it's gone away and done that for my project. It's taken me to that same dashboard place where I can choose my other reports from the menu up at the top, and it's produced it for me initially into HTML in the screen at the bottom, because I know I'm always going to be able to view that whatever device I'm viewing from. So let's just hide that top list away to give us a bit more space. And we can see it's brought through here some information, including my very latest commentary that I just added, some status information, and the history of that as that's developed over the project, some key properties and dates and values, timeline from my project plan, my top 5 not closed risks and issues, an overdue task list, and a timeline for the benefits information for the project as well. So all of that's brought in and assembled for me, like I say, into HTML so I can view it straight away, because often I might want to go back and change the files and rejig some things and make sure it's all up to date before I get a final version of the report. So we can think of this as looking at a draft, really. When I want the final one, I've got two choices. I can either publish the report back into the project, and this will take this set of content, put it back into the project as a file, and we'll be able to view that, and we're going to do that in just a second. We can also open a Word version for some of the reports, so some of them will create a Word version of the file as well, which I'm going to do here, and that's going to give me a much nicer format if I want to print it or give it to a colleague. I've got a Word version of it. It's all the same content, but it's just laid out in a much nicer way. And for many projects this will fit on one page. Just happens to have a very long list of overdue tasks on this example. So that's the idea. It's produced a standard report, which I could then print or save as a Word file and do something else with if I wanted to. I can of course also, as I say, publish this back in to share it into my project library. So if I press publish, I can put it back into the reports document. I can give it a name. So I might say this is my Feb progress report, and I might give it a description about who I sent it to or something like that. Press OK. That's then published back in, and now I'm in this reports dashboard. I can choose any other report I want from the reports list here up at the top. You'll see there's an awful lot of different standard project reports. So if we have a look at another one which is slightly different, we've got up here project poster to view. So that's going to get similar project level information, but it's going to be a slightly different set of data. So we've got some of the things that are the same and some things that are different. Some different benefit analysis information, financial analysis, more details of the finances coming through from the plan sources or spreadsheet sources. We've got a different sort of plan. We've got change budgets showing up here, resource profiles, a more detailed risk and issue analysis with responses included as well, highlight report, benefits list. Quite a bit more of an extensive report, and all again produced on the same project from the same source information by just applying the appropriate specification as set up at the top. So you can run between these, choosing the ones you want. You can also jump. So here we're going to jump to a portfolio level report, which we can do because we are in a portfolio. We're in a portfolio called Customer A, and that will contain a set of projects that we're doing for Customer A. So now within here I can produce a report, and it'll merge that detail together for me for those customers. So if I do post it to browser here, so this is going to get the, I don't know, might be 5 or 6, 7 projects, something like that in this portfolio, and merge the data together for all of them. So we can see that here. So let's again just hide that list away at the top. We could use auto hide here if we wanted to. And actually the reporting always tells us if we've asked for something which isn't present, it lets us know that. So one of these projects is using a very small method, the Agile project, and doesn't have a finances log in it. So there's no data available from that source. It's just letting us know. So it's bringing together all these different projects, all the different information for them, totaling it up. It's giving us analysis and charts and timelines and all sorts of things. We've got benefit analysis, we've got resources and plans, risk and issue analysis, all the same sorts of things, but merged together across the whole set of projects, which is a really useful thing to be able to do. It takes a lot of time and effort to try and do it by yourself, and it's also very prone to errors if you try and mess around with that sort of thing in a spreadsheet. So this is going to do all that for you. The same things then apply. I could publish it. If I'd run it to Word, I could then print the Word file, etc. So doing that reporting, bringing all that data together into your final report source is really straightforward to do. If we just come back to our navigation diagram again. So like I say, this other button here, other reports, would have taken us to that to choose a report rather than running one straight away. And published reports takes me to the library of reports published into this project. So I already had some reports earlier, and then there's the one I've just added now, and it's building up that list for me over a period of time. Not all the methods will have that reporting built into them, and so if you need to find that ever, you can always come to Menu and the Reports area here, and the dashboard is what you're particularly interested in. Report library is the published reports area we just looked at a minute ago, and there is the ability to create custom reports, but it's not quite as extensive as the standard dashboard type area. So generally I'd recommend using the dashboard as your starting point. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. That was a guide to reporting. If you've got any further questions about YourPMO, just let us know. Thank you very much.